Hello, welcome to Rev Sports. This is Ishan along with Shomik. We'll have Snehashish and Bharat joining us as well. A commanding victory for the Sri Lankan team. I think a fascinating fight back after the T20 series. They've shown a lot of spirit and they've come out on top. I've got Shomik with me. I'll ask him straight up. Shomik, you were at the venue. This is great news for Sri Lankan cricket. Obviously, not so great news for Indian cricket, but the Sri Lankan team has shown a lot of fight. What have you made out of this match?
Absolutely, Ishan. After losing 10 ODI rubbers on the bounce against India, they have pulled on back. They have won a series, so it's massive for them. Not that big for India in the sense. As far as India is concerned, it sometimes it happens after a high octane affair of the T20 World Cup for a relatively low key series, you struggle to motivate yourself, you become attack complacent. I'm not saying that they become complacent, but you can become attack complacent. So you sort of struggle to get into the group, motivate yourself. That could have been the case for India, but at the same time, we shouldn't forget the fact that India have failed to counter Spain. Today, the pitch was a little better than the first two ODIs, and even then, they failed miserably against Sri Lankan spinners. So that should be taken into account. Three games on the spin. India's troubles against Sri Lankan spinners continue, and it should be a worrying sign for Gautam Gambhir, given that he himself was a fantastic player against spin when he was an active player. But
Yeah.
this is something he needs to. This is an area maybe he needs to address.
Absolutely. But Shomik, where do you think this is going wrong? Do you think it's the middle order batting of this Indian side which is letting them down here? They're not being able to understand the conditions, all the spinners, like you mentioned. 3 matches on the trot, which is quite a large number. So moving ahead, where do you think they'll have to work on the issues?
I'm surprised at the nature of dismissal of some of the batsmen, Ishan, in the sense, given that, see, Virat Kohli got out to three leg before wickets in 3 games. In back-to-back games, he got out playing down the wrong line. You know, it's not expected from a player of Virat Kohli's caliber, the great player that he is. Today also, he got out playing down the wrong line. Uh, Rian Parag, although he was making his debut, the ODI's debut, he shouldered arm to a ball that was angling into the stumps. Akshar Patel misjudged the length of the ball. Shreya Iyer also misread the turn. You don't expect such kind of dismissals from the Indian batsman. That had happened, and that once the wicket started to fall, there was pressure, and the entire batting unit became jittery.
Yep, absolutely. I've got Snehashi joining us as well. Snehashi, great news for Sri Lankan cricket. We've been discussing, I spoke to Shaunak as well, that, this side has a potential. This Sri Lankan cricket fraternity obviously loves their cricket and good that they won the series. Obviously, not so great for Indian cricket here. Maybe they've taken it a bit lightly. Maybe, they've taken advantage of the situation, thinking Sri Lanka is not one of those top sides, but they proved us wrong. Proved us wrong, and how? I think fantastic performance. How would you sum it up?
Yes, absolutely. And as we have talked earlier, also that defeating India at any condition is a big statement win. And for Sri Lankan cricket, I think it's a big statement win, especially at home. Now it's a clear message to every other team that at least at our home condition, we're a team to beat. Because as we were discussing in the pre-match discussion that wearing Jasprit Bumrah, it is a full ODI side of Team India. So
Yeah.
defeating that team with this, especially with the bowling lineup of there and against a matured and experienced batting unit of Team India and performing like this is a massive win and very good statement, good sign for Sri Lankan cricket. And
Yeah.
as we all know by time now that after 19 and 97, this is the first time they have won a series against India. So I think that's a huge win.
Hmm.
Sanat Surya is a common factor. He won the player of the tournament in that series, and now he is the coach of this team. So I think that's the common
Yeah.
factor Sri Lanka were
Yeah.
missing. That's a good sign for Sri Lanka, but very concerning sign for India. Very concerning.
Yep. Yeah, it is concerning, Sinesh. You should not think with the Champions Trophy coming up as well. You want your side to be a little more stable. You want your top batters performing, Virat Kohli especially, Shreyas Iyer especially. So obviously, some sort of concerns here. Shomik Riyan Parag made his debut. You mentioned that, managed getting some wickets. Unfortunately, not too many runs. But good news, at least Riyan Parag has gotten an opportunity in this ODI side. Maybe he might come off even better and give out even better performances in the future. But Riyan Parag for you.
I mean, just an update as we have been talking about, we have been analyzing the game. The news came about that Rohit Sharma is going to address the post-match press conference. I will leave for that in a while. But
Yeah.
you were talking about Brian Parag, and obviously it's a good sign in the sense he bowled well. He took 3 wickets, so that's a good debut in the sense. And as far as batting is concerned, even his seniors didn't get runs. So it was just the first game. He will learn. He will learn. But in spinning conditions, what he does, he adds balance to the side because he can bowl off spin, he can bowl leg spin. So he is basically a right arm mixed bag. And from that perspective, and once he starts contributing with the bat, he could be quite handy as far as the balance of the side in spinning conditions.
Yeah, thank you, Shomik. Thank you. I'll ask you one final question before you leave, Shomik. Obviously, Shivam Dubey once again not being able to perform, not being able to handle the pressure. Maybe is this time running out, at least in the ODI side? Do you think someone like KL Rao should come in, even though we have a Rishabh Pant as a wicketkeeper?
I will ask. I will ask. I will very humbly. I would like to ask a question to the Ajit Agarkar-led selection panel. Is Surya Kumar Yadav, I mean, or rather, is Shivam Dube a better batsman because he plays mainly as a batsman, although he's supposedly here as an all-rounder, but he has bowled only today. He opened the bowling also because India played with one proper simmer, but usually he doesn't get a ball and he plays mainly as a batsman. So is Shivam Dube a better batsman than Surya Kumar Yadav in 20 over cricket? That is my very humble question to the Ajit Agarkar led selection panel. As far as his batting is concerned, at international level, he looks limited. He bowls right arm dibbly dobblies as a medium pacer. Um, Maybe India would be better off playing a specialist at the expense of a bits and pieces cricketer.
Yep. Thanks. Okay. Thank you, Shomik. I think you can attend the press conference. You'll have to go for that. So you can leave. And thank you for your time. I'll continue on with
Thank you.
Sneha when they join. Yeah. Sneha, we'll continue on a discussion before Bharat joins. I'll ask you the same question. Riyan Parag, good IPL, good domestic season in that ODI squad. Things are working out for him, but he's still not given out that standout performance, in my opinion. As a batter, he's supposed to go out there and with the competition that is there in the domestic circuit in this Indian side, he has to give out the standard performance before it gets too late. So your thoughts on Riyan Parag, and do you think he'll have a brighter future as time goes?
Yes, absolutely. He has all the potential to be a good cricketer for Team India for a long time, I will say, because he has shown his ability with the ball also, especially today. First match in ODI, the way he has bowled, he understood the pitch, he understood the pace of the ball that he needs to bowl on that pitch. Because see Akshay Patel. Akshay Patel also a spinner, right? But he doesn't take wicket because he bowls too fast as a spinner. But see, Rishabh, when Riyan Parag was bowling, Riyan Parag was bowling, try to give the ball some air so the ball can spin, and that's how he took those wicket. The ball spun and hit the top of the off stump of that left-handed batter. So I think overall that's a good sign that you can use him as a six bowler and he can easily give you 6 7 overs on a bad day of any bowler.
Hmm.
But in the batting, I think I will stick to that point that I mentioned in the T20 series also that he is not batting at a desired position. He is batting
Yeah.
too many down the order, I think, and it is understandable with with the availability of the batting unit in this current ODI setup. It is understandable that Shan Parag starting his career at number 7 or number 8, but this is not the right place for him as a batter. He is a batter
Yeah.
of number 5 maximum, so that he can play. And this is a tough wicket to bat on. Still, he looked good initially, first 10 15 ball. So, first ODI, we shouldn't judge so much as a batter, but as a bowler, he proved that he can be very handy for any captain. And Rohit Sharma must be very pleased to have him at his service.
Yeah, thanks, Tesh. We got Bharat to joining. Bharat, thanks for joining. I'm going to ask you a few questions on the trot, so you might have to take some time and answer them all. First question is Sri Lanka defeating India. A great win for the Sri Lankan team. They had the potential. This will do well for this cricketing fraternity as well for the Sri Lankan side. So your thoughts on that? Riyan Parag has made his debut after a good domestic season, obviously a decent IPL. But in my opinion, he's not given out a standout performance with the bat as of yet in the T20 circuit and also on the ODI match that he's been given at the moment. So your thoughts on Riyan Parag, your thoughts on the Sri Lankan victory, and obviously Shivam Dube not being able to deliver when it's needed. Is it time for him to possibly step out from this ODI side?
Yeah, see, there are two ways to look at it. I already noted after the second game, I don't know whether you remember that Sri Lanka would likely win the third game as well if they win the toss. Because, see, they are playing, I already told, Premadasa, it's like a fortress for them, leave alone the Asia Cup final. Because it was a seaming deck, suddenly rain
Yeah.
came and the wicket became very damp. On a typical turning wicket, they still have the bowlers. The real test will come when they tour England. Then we will see whether Sri Lanka are actually progressing against that baseball team. That is when the real test will come. Yeah, this is a great series win. At least it will boost their confidence. But sorry, the bigger test will come when they go to England or for the example or for the matter in 2027 their World Cup will be in South Africa. The pitches will be completely different. So yeah, great series win for them. But will this kind of conditions will you get this kind of conditions in South Africa? Perhaps not. So maybe they're looking at it as a short-term basis where they can win an ODI series against a team like India that will boost their confidence. But for this kind of conditions, definitely Sri Lanka have the spinners, Sri Lanka have the firepower. At Premadasa, they've always been very strong, barring a few games. As far as Parag is concerned, yeah, I think they guess they're looking at him as someone who can be a two-dimensional cricketer who can give you some overs or spin. They really see him as more than a part-timer. But on this kind of wickets, difficult to expect him to score runs. Even when you look at even the likes of Gill, Kohli, Pant, Shreyas Iyer, even KL Rahul has failed. So not too sure we can expect Riyan Parag as well to come and score runs. Yes, it would have helped him if he had got a 50 or 60. But maybe on a flatter pitch when he gets a chance to bat, if he gets a 70 or 80, then we will see whether he will make a difference. But the main
Fair
thing is,
points. Yeah.
Indian batters. It's not just Parag. Indian batters have struggled against spin. So bigger questions need to be asked about other batters as well, not just Parag.
Yeah, absolutely. And just a final question, Bharat, on Shivam Dube as well. Not being able to hand out those performances that are needed out of him. Is it time for him to possibly move on from this Indian side?
Yeah, the same thing. See, the first ODI I already told in the second game is not picked the straighter one. It's not picked the googly. It's not picked the leg spin so far. It's not picked. No. It's not picked any of those three variations. If you don't pick those three variations on a turning track, then you will be in trouble. I think his best chance on this kind of a track was to just come and hit every ball, try to hit it for a 4 or a 6. I don't think he can defend. He's a limited player. India, I think, had no other choice because Hardik Pandya is not around. So whenever he's not around, or whenever they want someone else, they would look at Shivam Dube because Nitish Reddy also is injured. He's a limited player. In T20 World Cup in the final, he did reasonably well. I guess India will move on from him in a at
Yeah.
least top series, maybe after in the series.
Yeah, I think that's what I feel too. Thanks for that, Bharat. We'll answer a few questions before we end this live. Snehashish, why don't you take this one? India have lost the ODI series against Sri Lanka in Sri Lanka after 1997. Some teams haven't played any ODIs this year so far. India have just played ODIs after a long gap. It makes them rusty. Do you think this is an excuse that not playing too many ODIs has made them rusty, or these are international cricketers and they should be expected to perform on the given day?
See, it can be a factor that, first of all, this is a new management. The ODI setup is under new management and Gautam Gambhir's first series, new captain. So this can happen. This can play a big role in this series. But still, on paper, when you see those teams before the series, I am telling, on paper, you expect Team India to win the series. Not only the T20, also the ODI one. But the way Sri Lanka have played, if you feel these kind of things only, that take credit, that then you take all the credit away from the Sri Lanka, because the way they
Yeah.
have played, you should give them credit because they have played exceptional cricket, especially with their bowlers, and the way they have understood their conditions. You have to give credit to them. But overall, the experience the batting unit have, the way Bharat mentioned, that the main concern is the way they have played the spinning. As a Indian, we know how many special batters we have come across over the years in Indian cricket history, and who used to play spins like nothing. Like it's a easy thing for them. But in current cricket, in modern cricket, these cricketers, the way they are batting right now in these tricky pitches, this is concerning. I'm not
Yes.
telling that.
Yes.
I'm not telling that they need to win the matches, in 8 wicket in hands, 10 wicket in hands. But at least this is not a pitch where experienced batter like Virat Kohli should score only 20 or 30 runs, like Shreyas Iyer should score 8 at 10 runs. This is not a trick. This is not such a trick. Yeah, it is tough, but with the experience, they should bat it
Yeah.
better. And then India, and if they would have done that, then India would have won the series, I think. So I think that is a
Hmm.
cons, but this might be a part of a factor that will work in the series for India. But the main factor is there are very less number of matches left before the Champions Trophy. Only
Yeah.
three matches left. So I think you only have three matches before finalizing the final 11 or final 15 before the Champions Trophy. So I think hopefully in the coming ODI series, I think India will perform better. But if they don't, then again you will come and say this thing that after so
Mhm.
many time they have come to play the ODI series. That way they are thinking that they will do well in the Champions Trophy. Things doesn't work like that. So I
It
think
doesn't.
hopefully India fight all this thing, and hopefully they will do good.
Absolutely. Thanks, Nishi. Bharat, final two questions to you before we end this live. One we'll take from the audience. So the first question is, I think you try to shuffle too much in the middle order and trying left-right combination. It's not needed when Iyer plays spin good at number four. So, what are your thoughts on this? This is question number one. And question number two for you is Champion Trophy coming up. Not too many games left for this Indian team to get finalized with that playing level. Will this cause a moment of concern for this team? With this team not looking as settled at the moment, and with the Champions Trophy coming up, is this a worrying sign for this Indian team?
See, again, I go back to the thing that more than shuffling, India have lacked the ability to play spinners. Yeah, I gave a couple of pointers that DRS rule has come into the equation. Spinners now ball quicker through the air and all those things, all those pointers on the slopes, turning wickets. It really comes into play, and Sri Lanka have the required spinners. But whatever they have shuffled, yeah, that looks a little too much. They needn't have shuffled it. But the main point is on a turning track, on a typical turning track, India have really struggled against spinners, and their bowlers have given too many runs 240, 250. On this kind of wickets, it seems like 40 runs too many. At most, you can you 210, 220, at least 30 runs, 20 runs too many, 240, 250. I think the bigger problems lie with how Indian batters have played, and without
I
Bumrah and
agree.
Sri Lankan paces
Yeah.
are Indian pace bowling or Indian bowling attack. Yeah, Kuldeep Yadav is there, but India's bowling lineup looks a little thin, I would say.
Yeah, thank you, Bharat. Thank you. And I think just the final question, if you could answer as well about the Champions Trophy. Not too many games left. What can this team do to get that playing 11 in that right sync before the major tournament?
I guess they still know it. Maybe Rishabh Pant versus KL Rahul is the only problem if Hardik Pandya comes back. And I don't think Champions Trophy would be played on this kind of wickets. I'm pretty sure as it is under ICC, they would prepare pretty good decks for batting in for ODI cricket, and we would see a lot more runs. So
Yeah,
India would be fine, I think. I think this is an aberration because Sri Lanka have prepared pitches that suit their spinners because that was the only way they could have beaten this Indian team because the Indian batting lineup have problems against spin. They have perhaps problems against the moving ball too in some other places. But on good pitches, I'm pretty sure in ODI cricket, India will come good in Champions Trophy.
Yeah, let's hope. Let's hope. I think we can wish our team the best. Thank you, Bharat. Thank you, Snehashi, for joining. And thank you to the 96 people who joined in this live as well. The series is over, but we'll be still providing you with a lot of content from the Olympics. And obviously, the series against Bangladesh will take place in September. And a lot more sports content coming away. So make sure that you stay tuned to that sports. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. And we'll see you all again very, very soon tomorrow morning. Take care and have a great night ahead. Thank you.